Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of Computer Organization and Advanced Microprocessors. This is our lecture number 27. We are learning memory organization and management these days, and we have already studied about the three different classification of memory, that is by the functionality, then by access method, and today in this lecture we will study about the classification of memory by capability. So let's start. So by the capability, based on the capability, the classification of memory has two memories, RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read-only memory. So now in the next slides we will see that how both the memories are different from each other, and we'll see both in the little bit detail. Let's now see the difference between the RAM and the ROM. We'll start with the RAM. So as we know that the RAM stands for random access memory, right? And it means that the CPU, that is a central processing unit, can directly access any address location of RAM memory. This we have already discussed. And so RAM is a quick accessible memory of the computer, but it stores the data on a temporary basis only. Second point, it says that the RAM is the volatile memory. What is the meaning of the volatile memory? What volatile memory means that it loses the data stored in it when the power is turned off. So suppose there is no power supply, in that case RAM will be empty. So we cannot save the data in the RAM for a permanent basis. Then the programs that the CPU requires during the execution of any program are normally stored in the RAM only, that we know. Yes, one more thing, it is the fastest and also the costliest memory of a computer. If we compare the lower level memories, in that case it is a read-write memory of the computer, means we can perform read and write both the operations, and so the data can be modified. We can say that because we can read and write, we can perform both the read and write operations, means we can say that we can modify the data. This RAM is basically further divided into or classified into the two types. First is the SRAM and the second is the DRAM. SRAM stands for the static random memory, static random access memory, and DRAM stands for the dynamic random access memory. So this is about the RAM. Now let's talk about the ROM. ROM. ROM stands for the read-only memory, and the CPU cannot directly access the ROM. Keep in mind that CPU cannot access the ROM or a read-only memory directly. The data is first transferred to RAM, and then CPU can access that data from the RAM. So if suppose you are trying to fetch the data from the ROM, in that case first the data will be loaded into RAM and then you can use it. ROM is a non-volatile memory. This means that the data inside it retains even if the power of the CPU is switched off. So if there is no power, even in that case the data will be there only. This memory normally stores all the crucial informations essential to operate the system, just like your operating system and like the program to boot the computer. ROM is generally used in the embedded systems such as calculator, then peripheral devices and like that. ROM is further divided or classified into three types, that is the PROM, EPROM and the EEPROM. We will see, we'll learn about this all the memories in little bit detail in the next slides. So if we talk about the types of RAM and ROM, then first let's talk about the types of random access memory. Basically it has two different types of RAM are available. One is the static RAM and the second is the dynamic RAM. Ultimately RAM is nothing but the volatile memory, but there is a minor difference between the static and the dynamic. So normally what happens, static RAM requires the constant flow, continuous electricity it requires to retain the data. Like continuously you need to supply the power. In that case you can retain the data. But if it's a dynamic RAM, in that case it is just to be refreshed, and once you refreshed it, you can retain the data whatever it holds. DRAM has example like L2, L3 are the examples of the DRAM. Then types of the ROM. So there are three types of ROM. It's very easy. So first is the PROM, then we have a EPROM, and then we have a EEPROM. So PROM stands for, see, ROM is read only memory. So here P stands for the programmable RAM, ROM, sorry. So what happens once the user has programmed? So of course it's a memory, so one or a programmer has to program it. So once it is programmed, then the data and instruction cannot be changed. Means we can say that it is a one time writing operation on that, and after that you can't do anything with that return instructions. So that is the programmable ROM. Then we have the EPROM. EPROM means what? Erasable programmable. Means here if you have written something on the ROM, in that case you can erase it, but the through only ultraviolet light. If it is a ROM, if it's a programmable ROM, and if you want to change it, or if you want to erase it, in that case you need to apply the ultraviolet lights on that, and then you can use it again, or you can erase the data from the EEPROM. And the last one is the EEPROM, that is the electrical erasable. Ultimately both are same, ultimately both are erasable ROM. Only the difference is in this EEPROM you need ultraviolet light, while for the EEPROM you need a electric field. You need electric field. That is the only difference, and through which you can erase the data. So it's about the types of RAM and ROM. So it was quite easy and very short lecture about the RAM and ROM, difference between RAM and ROM. So just keep learning, happy learning, and thank you.